Okay. So, as you're all aware, the blueprint for Maryland's future became law in 2021 after the state legislature overrode Governor Hogan's veto of the law. The blueprint offers us just that, a blueprint for a world-class system of public education for all students in Maryland. Over the past 7 years, Governor Hogan consistently imposed obstacles that delayed the implementation of the landmark legislation. This included vetoing the law after its historic passage, vetoing measures to raise revenue, and excluding funds slated to go to some of the state's most underfunded schools in Baltimore City and Prince George's County in the 2023 budget. Meanwhile, a report commissioned by Strong Schools Maryland shows that our state will begin to see a return on our investment a year earlier, with the total fiscal benefits outweighing blueprint costs 3 years earlier than originally projected. As a result, Maryland will graduate more students prepared for high-paying careers or college, attract new and expanding businesses to Maryland, and increase state revenue as a whole. Which leads us to our first question for our candidates. The blueprint contains myriad once-in-a-generation education reforms that improve outcomes for students, educators, families, and communities. In your opinion, what is the blueprint lacking? And how would you fill in those gaps as governor? Now.
And thank you again for having this program. And I do apologize. I too wanted to send my Lieutenant Governor, Candace Hollingsworth, who not only will be the first Black woman Lieutenant Governor in Maryland's history, but she'll be a partner with me in terms of how we govern. So you're right, Jamal, it's undefined, but we're going to define it very differently because she's amazing. But she was not allowed to be here, so I will be here as long as I can, and I have another function. The great thing about the blueprint is that we have a blueprint, and the budget is a moral document, and we need to make sure that funding comes to Baltimore City and Prince George's and around the state. But we've actually already done the hard work, which is to get a blueprint. Now we need to make sure we have a Democrat that's elected. We cannot make the same mistakes. We're looking to right now, some of the establishment leadership here in Baltimore is committing political suicide by trying to make sure we have somebody who cannot win the general election, because we can't put any of the blueprint or any educational reform or help Baltimore City schools without having a Democrat in office, because the blueprint will go into the trash. I started a program here 12 years ago called Charm City Youth Lacrosse, and we have about 500 or 600 kids. It has an educational component to it. I worked here for 8 years as your Attorney General. And it's that kind of thing, exposing it through mentorship and leadership and exposing children outside of the classroom, that I think is one of the things that the blueprint is missing. The other thing that I've been stressing in my campaign is criminal justice. I was a prosecutor for 22 years, federal, state, local, under Eric Holder mostly, but then as the state's attorney and attorney general. And I've been working on driving crime down, but lifting justice up. And we need to make sure we do that in our schools, because you can't learn if you're not safe.